And welcome to the Tony Scott Internet Show, man. What's going on? How you doing? Good morning. Well, it's not morning, actually. It's afternoon, so. Man, what's life like? I want to tell you, I went to Ferguson yesterday, talked to some business owners and things like that, because Monday on Old School 95.5, we're doing a radiothon from noon to 7, raising money with your generous donations, whatever it may be, to help local businesses in Ferguson. Some of the local businesses, all of the local businesses have insurance, as far as I know, or at least most of them do. But what they probably didn't know is there's a riot clause in a lot of their insurance policies where it's not covered. Did you know that? I found that out yesterday, that there's a lot of riot clauses in these insurance policies, and it doesn't cover damage from rioting and looting and such. And if it does, it's probably very minimal, but I doubt that they, from what everybody I talked to, nobody really had a great insurance policy because of that. So we're going to do a radiothon on Old School 95.5 here in St. Louis, where you can donate. We'll have information up on oldschool955.com and also on the radio at Old School 95.5. What else is going on, man? I saw a story yesterday about a parent of a preschool, a 3-year-old, who's mad because she's saying they try to cover it up over at Laclede Elementary. She's saying her 3-year-old daughter was touched inappropriately by a 4-year-old while she was in a bathroom stall, and she says she found out about it from other students. The principal wasn't even aware. Teachers didn't call her. Spokesperson for the school says they are aware of what happened and they're looking into it. The district also says that if someone fails to report an incident like this, usually that person is suspended. You think? You see, here's the deal. See, we are so desensitized to everything that's going on in the world today. So we stab. No, there's a 4-year-old. He didn't mean any harm. Well, you try telling that to the parents of the 3-year-old or to the 3-year-old. That's not your call to make, man. Who said it wasn't no big deal? You, in the world we live in today, you've got to be a special kind of stupid to not say anything. I mean, come on. In South County, St. Louis, a person was taken to a hospital after being cut with a knife during a fight outside of Chuck E. Cheese. Did you hear about this? The one on South County Centerway happened about 7:15 last night. 32-year-old suspect was threatening to cut the tires of a vehicle that belonged to her ex-husband when his girlfriend approached her. They got in an altercation, the 32-year-old woman and the man's girlfriend, who's 24. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries with cuts to her hands, face, and neck. The suspect fled the scene before police arrived. Like they're not going to find her anywhere. Like they're not going to ever catch her. I just don't understand people. You're at a children's venue, and it is more important for you to create drama in front of these children than anything else going on around there. You couldn't set that aside for the sake of the child at Chuck E. Cheese. You couldn't set it aside. It couldn't wait. It could not wait. It's your ex-husband. You see, these are folks that to me, they don't get the benefit of a deal or first-time offender sentence. Or no, hell no. Put they monkey ass in jail. I'm just sick of it. I am. We're a nation of excuses. We're a nation of, you don't know what the drama was, but it didn't have to be there at Chuck E. Cheese. Somewhere along the way, and it may have been my generation or the generation before, we severely failed a generation of people. We didn't teach them how to resolve conflict. We didn't show them the right way. They never saw a loving relationship. But at the same time, you get to be a certain age and enough of the excuses, enough of the reasons why. You just ain't good. I got a relative who's in their 60s and is still, lifelong a hood rat. A hood rat. I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. See, people think that hood rats are exclusive to black folks. Hood rats are in every ethnicity. If you don't know that, then you ain't paying attention. Okay? There are hood rats. There are white hood rats. There are Latino hood rats. There are Asian hood rats. You know, there are Middle Eastern hood rats. There are hood rats in every ethnicity. There's just a group of people, for whatever reason, just don't get it, and they never will. What do we do with these people? I don't know. I have no idea. But we fail them. Somewhere along the way, we have failed them, and I don't know what the solution is. But clearly, we have failed them. If you're cutting up another woman at a Chuck E. Cheese, we have failed somewhere along the line. Bill Cosby's Massachusetts show has been canceled because people ain't buying tickets. When would you imagine, let me just put it this way, I never would have thought that a Bill Cosby show would have been canceled for lack of ticket sales. But given what's going on in his life, it's not really surprising, right? It's a 2,300 seat venue, and they've only sold 1,300 tickets. With about 3 weeks to go before the show, they need to sell another 1,000 to sell it out. I think they're calling it too soon. But there may be a clause in the contract where if you don't cancel by a certain date, you have to pay him the full, arranged fee. Maybe that's what the deal is. And, was it a week or so ago? I think it was a show in Canada where he was doing his show and some hecklers stood up and said, "We believe the women, you're a rapist," and all that stuff like that. You know what? You're stupid because you know what? You paid your money to go in there and say that. So he already got your money. He got your money. Bill Cosby got your money. I don't know, man. You had to go in there and say that. So you're willing to pay. And, Bill Cosby concert, let's be honest, it is not inexpensive. It's pretty pricey. Let's just say it's $75 for a ticket. So you pay $75 for you to be able to go in there and say you're a rapist. He got your money. He won. He's not going to jail. He won. Because you let him win. Now, Bill Cosby's many accusers, which I think is over 20, but the two most prominent ones are Beverly Johnson and Janice Dickinson. They're both former models. And according to Beverly Johnson's former manager, says that Beverly Johnson lied. Lied is what the manager is saying. Beverly Johnson's ex-manager saying that Beverly Johnson is a liar. He says Janice Dickinson lied too. Don Gibble represented Beverly Johnson in the early 90s and says he personally knew Dickinson for over 20 years. He says Beverly Johnson told him her Cosby story lots of times, but it only involved one personal meeting at a pleasant, non-eventful brunch with Cosby and Camille, Bill Cosby and his wife Camille. She said she had brunch with him and his wife, and it was a great experience. And then on The View, it flip-flopped. She says that he drugged me and tried to make a move on me. Aha! It's hard. I said somebody on TV said this, and I couldn't think of a better way to put it. That the only thing worse than rape, and rape is a horrible thing, but the only thing worse than that is falsely accusing somebody of rape. Now, having said that, it's really hard to determine whether all these women are lying. It would seem like there's a stack of women like this who are making these accusations against Bill Cosby. There has to be some truth, right? I mean, you would think that. And it's easy to make that assumption, although when something is this serious, we should not make assumptions. I wonder if it had been David Brenner, the late David Brenner, may he rest in peace, or George Carlin, may he rest in peace, with these accusations, would it still be the same of them being persecuted like Bill Cosby is? if they were comedy legends like that. Mel Brooks. You know, I wonder if it would be the same thing. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, who had a show on Fox until recently, I think he took it off because he's thinking about running for president again. You know, he tried it, what was it, the first time President Obama won? I think he was in running trying to get the Republican nomination, but he crashed and burned, and he did a radio show for a while. Nobody paid attention to it. It was boring. It was nothing. But in an interview with People magazine, Mike Huckabee is accusing President and First Lady Obama of parenting by double standard when they by pointing out how the Obamas allow their daughters to listen to Beyonce as they shelter them from certain things. Quote, I don't understand how on one hand they can be such doting parents and so careful about the intake of everything, how much broccoli they eat, where they go to school, and yet they don't see anything that might not be suitable in the lyrics and the Beyonce choreography is best left for the privacy of her bedroom. You see, he's promoting a book. He's got a book called God, Guns, Grits, and Gravy. And he calls, in his book, he describes Beyonce as mental poison. You know, but see, this again is the classic example of one culture not understanding the other. And this is the perfect example of one person criticizing, and we're all guilty of it, myself included, of one person criticizing another person without knowing the entire thing. Okay, not every one of Beyonce's songs are ratchet, are nasty. Not every one are sexual. Now, we don't know what songs the Obamas allow their children to hear from Beyonce. Now, having said that, I mean, let's keep it real. They probably, especially the older one, they probably let her listen to whatever she wants to listen to of Beyonce. And maybe not so much when the little sisters are. I don't know. But you ain't in the White House, Mike Huckabee, so you don't know. You need to shut the hell up about this, man. Because the people whose votes you're going to need if you run for president, you're insulting them. This is something that politicians just don't get. They don't, your life, your privileged life is not reality. For blacks, for whites, for most of America, politicians, for them it's a hobby. For them, being a politician, because they already got their money. You know, they have the world's greatest health plan, if you're a member of Congress. They are unrelatable to the common folk. They don't know what the needs are, people. You know, they want to take down Obamacare because they think that it ain't right. And yet, a lot of people, millions of people, myself included, have signed up for Obamacare so I could have some health insurance for my children. I'm a part-time employee for Radio 1. I'm not complaining about that. But when you're a part-time employee, you normally don't get a health plan. You know? On the other hand, I'm self-employed. So I had to have a health plan for my kids. I mean, me too, but damn me, I'm talking about my girls. My wife. I could give three damns about my health. I'm talking about them. This is how a lot of men think. Most men think this way. Shocker. That's the truth. And we need a plan like this. They say they got a better plan. What is it? And when you ask them what it is, they hem and haw. Well, now's not the appropriate time to talk about it. We're currently putting the final touches on a program to replace Obamacare, which we think is doing so much harm to America. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, stop, just stop it, man. Just stop. You can't relate to us. You don't know us. You don't know common folk. It isn't your reality. And for most of you politicians, it never has been your reality. You don't know what it's like to struggle. You know, being unemployed with $400,000 in the bank is one thing. Being unemployed with less than $200 in the bank is a completely different thing. And most Americans who are unemployed have less than $200 in the bank. Because they've had to use their money. They've had to burn through their retirement. They've had to go through their 401k, cash it in. Meantime, you politicians, you've got six figures in the bank and life is good. Well, God bless you. I'm happy for you, but you don't know what the struggle's like, man. Kevin Hart says there's no need for an apology from the Sony executive who called him a whore in a hacked email that was made public. You remember this? Sony Scream Gems president Clint Culpepper referred to Kevin Hart's desire to boost his $3 million salary, wrote in an email, I'm not saying he's a whore, but he's a whore. At the time, Kevin Hart shot back on Instagram, I worked very hard to get where I am today. And yeah, I think that's a true statement. I look at myself as a brand, and because of that, I will never allow myself to be taken advantage of. I own my brand. I make smart decisions for my brand, which is why I'm able to brush ignorance off my shoulder and continue to move forward. But Kevin Hart does tell the Hollywood Reporter that Mr. Culpepper has apologized. He says, I've talked to him. Clint called right afterwards. He said, it's not like I wanted to challenge him. That's just how he talks. He apologized, but there was no need. When you negotiate, you say whatever you say. None of it affected me. Now, I can tell you this, that, like, I've used agents to negotiate my radio contracts in the past. And I got that on the advice of a general manager of a radio station in Chicago who says he prefers to deal with his announcer's representative because lots of times things get said that you would rather say to their lawyer, their representative, than you would rather, instead of saying it to their face, because you say it to their face, it gets personal, and once you settle on a contract, and you will, it's very hard to get past what was said. So if you just say it to the representative, it's a lot easier. So I got to represent, and I found that to be true. I found that to be very true. VH1 has apparently bowed down to the pressure and has canceled Sorority Sisters. Sorority Sisters was a quote-unquote reality show, but there was like a huge backlash. VH1 has 3 episodes in the can, and they're going to air them all on Friday night instead of the regular Monday night slot. 9:30, 10:20, and 11:10, and then it's over. I mean, this thing has rubbed Greeks the wrong way because it was just ratchet. These were women that everybody was ashamed of, and it was obvious they were playing up to the camera. It was obvious that they had no idea what the hell they were doing, and that's just what it was. Now, VH1 says, well, we could bring it back. No, you're not going to bring it back. You're not going to bring it back. You're not going to bring it back. I mean, come on. It's not going to happen. There's also a report that TV One has canceled R&B Divas Atlanta. That's the one with Monifa and Faith and Kiki White and Selena Johnson and Nikki Gilbert. This is according to John Murray. John Murray is reporting that it's a wrap. We'll see what happens with that. That's what he's reporting. I have not seen that anywhere else. Nicki Minaj's ex-boyfriend, is it Safari Samuels? He told the Breakfast Club New York City, a radio show, that he walked away from Nicki because she treated him like a worker. That's not why you walked away from her, man. No. Sorry, I'm not buying what you're selling. You saw a piece of tail that you thought you'd get away with because Nikki's busy with everything. That's what you did. You felt like another woman, and so you went and got another woman. Don't hide behind. If she treated you like a worker, she treated you like a worker for how long? Because y'all were together for a while. Well, I finally got tired of it. Shut up. Shut up. No, I'm not buying that one. Sorry. That dog just doesn't hunt for me. People who put cheating, the only reason why cheating is a very selfish act. No one gets pushed into another person's arms. You can frame it. You can explain it any way you want. You were lucid when you decided that you were going to sleep with someone else. No, there's no reason on both sides, men and women. When you cheat, you cheated because you wanted to. Not because I was lonely, not because my man ignores me, not because my woman doesn't act like a woman when I needed to be a woman. She wasn't there for me. None of that. No, you cheated because you were horny and you saw someone who was feeling you and you decided to go for it. Now you're caught up. That's what it is. Naya Rivera. Now whose girlfriend was she? She was it Big Sean's girlfriend? I don't know. She was on The View when she just happened to say, I have a theory about showering, which is that I think that white people shower a lot more than ethnics. I feel like showering more than once a day or every day is such a white people thing. You see, here is the problem with free speech. Because Naya Rivera, you stupid. People bathe every day for lots of reasons. Most of the reasons are because they like to be clean. Lots of people bathe to relax. It's their time to just let that warm water beat them down and just wash away the day's problems. Now, when the ladies of The View started to go in on her, she tried to fix it, saying that my mom's half black, half Puerto Rican. She showers every day, so I can say this. But I can say that I'm now married to a white man, and he showers a lot, like 2-3 times a day. I'm like, what are you doing? Then she went scientific. She says, a study says, a dermatologist says you're only supposed to shower once or twice every 3 days. So I'm right on the mark. And your ass is funky. You know what? Stop. Naya, stop. Just stop. For the love of everything, just please, just stop. Please. Oh, boy. Heck of a show today, huh? We're just running through them, right? In New York City, at Brooklyn, tenants at the Wyckoff Gardens housing development were hotter than fish grease. The water in their building went out for a week. They called the housing authority, and the housing authority told them, bring your buckets to the water station to get the problem fixed. The water station was a fire hydrant. Wow. At least they got water. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. No. We got to do better treating each other, man. We got to do better. Oh, boy. Walter Lewis Johnson is 60 years old, and he has been arrested. Why has he been arrested? Well, he's been arrested because he got a 12-year-old girl pregnant. He's 60 years old. So when he was 48, she was born. They've done the medical test. It's been confirmed. She says that he did several types of sex on her. I mean, I'm scared to even drill down on that statement. They say the girl may have gotten pregnant first week of October. When Walter heard that he got a 12-year-old pregnant, he called 911 threatening to commit suicide. But they got him. But he denies having any sexual contact with the girl. He says he's schizophrenic and bipolar. And he says, I didn't take my meds. He's charged with 3 counts of sexual battery on a person under 18. $1.5 million bond. Where were her parents? It's easy to say that. But we all have people, friends, family, who we let in our inner circle, who we trust. We think we can trust them. When the truth of the matter is you really don't even know them. A lot of times they stepped up to help you in a pinch because you were in a bind and you felt like you had, I need somebody to watch my child. I got to go to work and my babysitter, bailed on me today. What am I going to do? Oh, Mr. Johnson's upstairs. He's a retired man. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. You see? You can blame parents if you want to on that, but that 60-year-old man, he's the one who will burn in hell. He is the one. A woman in North Carolina was in bed, and her husband wanted to surprise her with breakfast in bed. But instead, he caught a bullet to the chest. Now, before you, hold on a second. Apparently, he triggered the home security system when he got into the house on Friday morning. So the wife, Tiffany, believed that an intruder had broken in. She shot through her bedroom door and got him in the upper chest. She felt what she was doing was defending herself. The man is a soldier at Fort Bragg. Gunshot wound, like I said, to his chest. He's going to be okay. In fact, he's back home. He told reporters he was good. The residents there had been on edge because there had been a lot of break-ins in the neighborhood. 4 home break-ins and 4 car break-ins have been there since January 1st. That's in 2 weeks. He's okay. Are you buying what happened? Yeah. Yeah, I am. I don't know any. I don't know them. I don't know the neighborhood. I don't know Fayetteville, North Carolina. So how could I possibly say, yeah, she was trying to get rid of him? How could I say that? I can't say that because I don't know. And if you say that, you're wrong. You're wrong, man. You don't know them. You know, a lot of times we think just because something happened to us or in our circle that formula applies to everything else in the world. And it just doesn't. Man, we've had a great show today. I appreciate you listening. I'm going to leave it right here, man. We're like at 27 minutes. Can you believe that? Man, it went by fast. Thanks so much for listening. Look, I've got an event coming up at the Urban Arts on February 6th. Tony Scott Live. I'm doing my podcast. This show I'll do live. And I'm going to have a special guest. Coco Rochelle's going to join me. She's a St. Louis personality. She will join me for the 30-minute podcast that we'll do. And make it a date night. Bring your date. If you've never seen a podcast done, this is the perfect opportunity to do that. We stream it live. I think the last, I was told the analytics, we were, the last show we did from Kathy's Kitchen, we were in 78 countries. Yes, I'm worldwide. But thanks so much for listening, downloading, and sharing, subscribing to my YouTube channel, Off the Hook. Follow me on social media. We're ramping up, man. 2015, we hope to turn a profit this year with the Tony Scott Media. That's the plan, to bring you compelling content on many different platforms. So thank you so much for your support. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.